important, as well as whoever gets ahead in terms of levels will be able to just get more advantages in that sort of sense. So this is a very resource-heavy game coming out of the side of
I
Evos
completely
SG.
agree.
And with that, you gotta see from the side of RRQ Hoshi, it's relatively about the same if you ask me.
R7 will be playing that Yu Zhong Lemon as the 1-1. And look at this, he does not have the flicker, but he does have the Aegis. Lemon here, using that extra shield to get away from that damage and to not get forced out of lane. But Aeon here will be the target of Psycho, but there is a punish coming in here for Evos SG. Make that a 1-for-1 Contra.
Well, technically you can call that a 1-1.
Ah! Ah! Yeah. That's
All right.
actually funny.
Back into the game, I guess.
That was actually funny. It just took a while to sink in.
Seems like they're going to be changing the scores with Finn dropping out some health coming for the side of Aeon, but still, this will be Evos SG with that lead, finally breaking that truce. So having a little bit of slight advantage in the early game. I love the fact that in both of these matches that we are seeing, every time Evos SG loses a member, they go in for a trade, and that's absolutely worth it. Now, we do look at it, yeah, sure, it's just basically the Jawhead dropping down or Finn, but, you know, it's still going to be Goldie's goal going over on towards JPL's side, which means that he has enough money to just build whatever he wants.
Look at this, Albert, with Albert in the area, they could not fight him. They know that he has the buffs. He will deal a lot of damage if allowed to go for the dive, but Evos SG played that well. They did not jump the gun. They did not try to punish Lemon as much. And Lemon right now has the Aegis up this time. Mounting Shocker to get a bit of information and harass on the enemies. So RRQ Hoshi will stand back.
Very preemptive measure coming in from the side of Evos SG, expanding the Mounting Shocker just like that. And now, with that, we have 4 members right there. Oh, Aeon looking to actually... going for the catch, trying to actually get Finn, but he's falling down low. No follow-ups whatsoever coming from the side of Evos SG. But with the turtle coming low, they are forcing their way back, and they are giving this one up for RRQ Hoshi to steal it away.
Evos SG knows that they cannot contest that as long as the Roger is there.
Oh,
that's how much pressure they exude here for the side of Evos SG. But look at that ejector. It catches out Pokemon. Zaman forced. He is forced out. And that's going to be Potato getting the kill secured. JPL going out. He does have the Jit Kondo and the Shunpo. And this is going to be not a 1-for-1, but someone going down on RRQ Hoshi alone.
Yeah, and it's still very much evened up, but this buff is being hijacked. But Potato, he almost got caught out. It will still be another trade coming out of these both teams. Down force being used out, and it will be Albert chasing right in. This is looking relatively great for Pokemon as Albert tries to make a great escape, but Aeon says, no, I can still find you with whatever cost I can throw at your face.
Evos SG timed that perfectly. Pokemon knew that the buff was out, so he decided to just jump in. It was the perfect condition. It was the perfect requirement for him. He had a Zaman Force. He had the capability to, you know, just have this trade with a Roger. And Albert knew that he had to get out of harm's way, so he just tried to get away, and after that, it wasn't enough. His mobility isn't that good.
Oh, Aeon's right here. He's going to be going in for the catch as well. Now finally using the Dragon 4, but it's way too late. Aeon has been able to find those pickups right there. He didn't really need that flame shot even in this scenario.
And that's why you call it deadly magic, because it's deadly.
Indeed. So a couple of these are the goal being garnered coming from inside of Evos SG. They are once again ahead, but only by a very slight margin. Now Psycho having a little bit of the camp protection. JPL causing some disruption towards the top side of things as Lemon has been having so much of the Guardian Angel by his side, but Pokemon just wants to poke a little bit of fun on this Jawhead. Nothing much has been able to be garnered here, but that turtle slowly having it being going the way as Evos SG has been able to get this one in the bag.
JPL with the Wave the Dragon, he catches out that Lu Yi, and right now it's a 3v4 situation. Make this a 3v4 actually, and right now the Yi just jumps in. Pokemon gets bursted down. Potato here trying to deal as much damage as possible. Psycho getting Deadly Magic. It deals no damage at all.
I just love the way that they are pressing on towards the attack. You can just see how determined they are by just committing with the Way of the Dragon as well as the Zombie Force. Now Soul pulling in the wave as he's trying to proxy this one down. Lowy is going to be making his way over on towards the lane, but still having some space to be able to just force a little bit of the exchange later on. And the good thing about having such a high mobility composition from inside Evos SG is that they can easily find those picks whenever they want to. And JPL, they're just camping towards the top side, but for Soul, he can always make his way out.
Soul here using those dashes to his advantage. He'll get away from the hands of Psycho. He will not get ejected into the 1-1.
Oh,
and there's
boy.
the stoppable force. Aeon here using the Cyclone Eye wisely. And that's in... He got it in
Perfect
time.
timing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I guess that is definitely the magic trick in the hat. But RRQ has been able to get their hands on towards the very first turret, which is in the mid lane. So this is going to be a little bit troublesome for the side of Evos SG, knowing for the fact that some parts of the jungle they have to give away in terms of pressure. But looking at this sort of scenario, it's a 1-2-2 coming out from the side of RRQ Hoshi, and they're finding ways to just put Soul to sleep. But at this very moment, is Aeon going to be able to do so much? But Albert is going to be diving right in. Oh my God, just look at the damage. Oh, he's going to be bursting him down, but Soul cannot do anything at all. 4 members of RRQ just marching right in, looking for JPL as well, but he can easily just use his Shinpo as well as Jikendo to get himself back out. But what exactly would the response be for the rest of Evos SG, because they don't really get that much of an exchange other than the turret on top?
Now, Albert has the Wind Talker, and with that Contra, I mean, he's gonna be more confident in the dives that he will take.
Indeed, and Vin this time getting caught out.
Nice
He's gonna be having Summon Force, but it will be a little bit more area for him to work with. Lemon tries to go in for a trade as well, but for RRQ Hoshi, they are so preemptive in this sort of decision. Way up the Dragon, they're positioning their members all across the place. Psycho might just be dropped right here as Soul has been able to garner 1 kill in the back alongside with Aeon. The rest of RRQ definitely having some Survey members being bruised up. They are being forced to retreat, but currently there's not much of an objective for them to take. Lemon still pretty much healthy at the moment, facing a 2 versus 1.
Holy Crystal is now up for Aeon, and that only means that he's gonna hurt a lot, especially with his burst potential. Now for RRQ Hoshi, I really think that they need to hold on to this certain lead that they have by just taking down the turrets. They haven't been taking down turrets. Yes, they've been winning a lot of these fights, but in terms of converting it to objectives, they haven't been successful in that department.
That's right, and just looking at this matter, how well it's been working. Oh, here comes the Electro being used up already by Soul, as he will be able to find his way back to safety. 1 great turret being secured coming from the side of Evos SG, 96 at the current standpoint, 3K in terms of goal lead, and that's going to be extending once they drop this turret as well. I just love the way that they are controlling the entirety of the pace of the game, forcing RRQ Hoshi not to be getting too much out of all these sort of exchanges. They're still waiting for the time for Lemon to kick up a notch and just force his way through some of these fights. Luminous Lord is now online pretty much soon in the span of 3 minutes.
And that was a timely... they got the orange buff in a timely manner just because the Lord is now up. 9 minutes into the game, Albert still has a fresh orange buff, so that means he can deal a lot of damage. Albert there, turning into a werewolf. He didn't go for the jump, but that, I think, scared the hell out of Potato.
Yeah, even if he commits a jump, they still have the mobility to actually move away. So it's a very risky thing for the Roger to just be the first guy to make that move. They just need them to have the jawhead to commit towards this, and they have to give away this very first Lord on the span of 9 minutes. Remember, this is not going to be the one that's luminous, but hey, it still works very well. And you can see this is the very first time that I'm seeing a very convincing lead coming from inside of Evos SG as compared to the ones that we see before. Now, speaking of that, ejector on towards Soul, but he could still be able to find a couple of all these areas of play. The Wawa will be able to take one down, but Pokemon, he's in trouble right now. Getting saved there by Soul, but is it going to be enough? 4 versus 3 is not going to be the number that you want to be looking for, Evos. And with that, Aeon, the next one to fall to the hands of Albert with a beautiful dive right through. Only 2 members left from the side of Evos SG. JPL definitely on the wrong direction.
JPL trying to buy some time. The Lord is at the bottom lane. As you can see, Yisun Shin is making his way there so that the Lord can push a bit of these towers onto the bottom lane. Now, clearly seeing that the fight is done and he doesn't have any more information of where RRQ Hoshi is going, he just went back because he didn't want to risk his life just to escort the Lord to that certain turret.
And I gotta say that RRQ Hoshi played that very well. Like, they understood that, okay, with the Lord already going down towards the bot side, they are expecting to see Evos members going up towards the top, and they cut them out before they could do so, rendering that Lord useless. And even so, Evos still looking to secure more of these objectives. It's already 5 turrets in the back as compared to 3 from the side of RRQ Hoshi. Now, finally, we get a little bit of a breather here to discuss even further, because this game is absolutely nuts.
Yep. It's crazy how well these teams are utilizing the small advantages against the enemy team just to get a certain lead, 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 a certain lead.
I really wonder, this last slot here is to be decided in this very final game.
And we head back onto the game. Potato, as we see, got the crab coin. RRQ, they stay near their base. They're not aiming to just push anytime soon. They know that Lemon needs a bit more of items here. I think Lemon, do you think that his positioning is a bit put into a bad spot just because he went for the Aegis rather than the Flicker?
I would definitely agree. In a few instances of the fight where he couldn't really get into a position where he can get the optimal pickoffs, but it's still something that is workable. Well, of course, why he chose this sort of spell is to ensure a little bit more of a safety net, especially when your team is playing on the offense. Nobody's going to be taking care of you, so he's got to find a way to juke things out or just kite in towards a certain angle. And now, at the moment, although there's not much of an objective, the next Lord that's coming online is going to be a little past 1 minute. But here goes that dive straight in towards the Harley. Oh, this is very costly.
Lemon here getting targeted by that Harley of Aeon. He survived that with the Aegis, I'm pretty sure about that. But coming into the late game, do you think the Aegis will still be relevant? Looking at the lineup here for the side of Evos SG,
but I guess every single bit of it counts as well. Yeah, I definitely agree with you that maybe it might not be as
relevant
as relevant as a Flicker, right? But it's really down to his preference, because maybe Lemon is just feeling it at this sort of moment. But at this point in time, Albert is the one that's really pulling in the weight. You can see already 5 kills being garnered, but it's pretty much a all-rounded side for the side of Evos SG. But oh my goodness, this is gonna be a camp being set up, and JPL almost fell for it. He had a hunch, and yep, just showing Lemon a little bit of how he looks like.
You know what? That could have been a disaster for the side of Evos SG, but JPL read that well. He knew that there was something up. He knew that they had the Louis, so anytime when all these members are not pushing, are not showing the waves, they're probably up to something bad.
That's right. And speaking of up to something, Evos SG is already starting things off. Diversion already being used up for the flank. Psycho as well has been there, diving right in. This is going to be the Lord being on the last quarter of health. R7 is just moving, marching in their way just to try to clip over on the side of Aeon as they completely ditch the Lord. But they're looking for the kills, and RRQ Hoshi is going to be finding two members down for the side of Evos. Pokemon's next one on the chopping block, and most of the members of RRQ survive except for Psycho. This is looking relatively good for them to just get their hands on towards the Lord, having two members to be manning that. But JPL, he's got other plans. He's trying to force a split push, but he's coming right back for the Lord. But what can he do? He doesn't really have Retribution on his side, but all he can do is just to disrupt this at the very moment. This is going to be really crucial right now, but he can only watch as it falls to the hands of RRQ Hoshi. And so he gets that shut down. Great pickup, but now there's a bigger problem here with the Luminous Lord in the hands of RRQ.
Okay, that was a good pick off coming out from Soul, just because now they have to push with the Lord with 4 members. The respawn timer on Vin is at 25 seconds at the moment, so that means they really need to think about their next move there. RRQ Hoshi, are they gonna push with the Lord, or are they gonna split up, or are they just gonna ignore this Lord push all in all?
At the moment, we do see a 2-2 split, but now with the Cats coming in, all members on deck, except for the Benedetta, and Zamanfor is being used up, but Psycho as well as they are charging right in. Albert with the great pick. Pokemon is down. This is big news. RRQ Hoshi, they can't escort this Lord all the way straight in towards the final turret of the top side. So they could possibly chunk out the health for a little bit longer, but how long can the turret stand? As you can see, JPL tries to find a little bit more of a salvation pick, not really finding the crosshairs on towards Lemon just about yet, but they could definitely buy a little bit more time to clear that wave, but they're still hunting out for Lemon. Lemon still has some really big Aegis going on, that's the reason why he survives, and that answers your question, brothers.
That is RRQ Hoshi just showing us how they use diversion, not the literal diversion that Vin has, but they put themselves onto the middle lane just because they knew that bottom lane is gonna push. Now, everyone from Evos SG had their eyes on the mid lane. They just wanted to defend that. But in the process, they lost that certain turret, and now no outer turrets here for the side of Evos SG. And they even up the map now.
Now, they are definitely breaking even. It's already in the late game phase. And, well, brothers, I'm pretty sure you want to talk about itemization, so let's have a quick look at some of all these items being brought up online. But before that, I think that they are still going to be having a little bit of a dance, but let's not worry too much about that. So, difference is 1 kill, and now, yep, finally, we got the items up. So, what do we have, brothers?
On 1-1, we do have the Rose Gold Meteor. And looking at Albert, he did go for the Athena Shield just to mitigate a bit of damage here coming out onto the side of Evos SG. Pokemon got the Winter Truncheon, if I'm seeing that correctly. And I think Potato is still gonna go for that, what do you call this? The Endless Battle? Just because he has the Angry Tomahawk on his side.
Oh, Diversion being used up right now. A flank coming right in there, pushing to the other side. And Aeon is the one in the middle of it all. So they will be able to catch that member off inside of Evos SG. And they are slowly falling back. Silent Force being used coming from the side of Pokemon. They are still trying their best to survive, but this pressure is a little bit too much. They are finding ways to catch them all out. R7 is the next one to fall, and it's a 2-member trade for inside. They are still fighting, and Psycho, he does have very little health. Bad news for his side, as they do have been being suppressed right inside the base. Perfect defense coming in for Evos SG.
Evos just did the impossible. Lemon here getting caught out, and that is Soul just being the X factor for the side of Evos SG. He wants more kills. There is the Mountain Shocker, and those are the skills. They really just want to take him down. Ejector giving Psycho a bit of shield here, but Evos Soul is out for the hunt, and he uses his, he juked that skill. He put it in a bad position, and Psycho just went for the U-turn, and that is going to be a successful escape.
There's a little bit of time we're here. They finally get the towers down, and it's a 3-man life. And there you go, Evos SG, final blow, and it will be an equalizer coming in for Singapore.
Oh my goodness, Evos SG taking a game away from RRQ Hoshi. What was that? We had the same thing in mind. I'm speechless right now. Evos SG.
Finally seeing